Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the bold and the beautiful edition. All right, guys, today is Friday. Yay! September the 23rd, 2022. Let's get right into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this a 6.5. We start off with Steffi and Finn. They are in their home kissing, and Taylor walks in and they say, "Oh gosh," again. And Taylor said, "The struggle is real to come up in here to go to the kitchen." I said, "Man, why don't you just take some stuff to your room? Like, get yourself a mini fridge or something." Anyways, so Taylor is there and she just tells Steffi, "Hey, I spoke to Brooke, and what you did the other day, you can't do that. You can't take your dad's phone, and you can't deny her speaking to her husband." And she said, "Mom, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just didn't want to interrupt and everything." But but Taylor just tells her, "You can't do that. You know, your father is an adult, and that's his marriage, and you can't be disrespectful or whatever." And so then Ridge comes in with these huge teddy bears for Kelly and Hayes, and Taylor makes a joke about, the teddy bears are so. She makes a joke about it being warm and fuzzy and cute or whatever, and she said the teddy bears are as well. And I said, "Oh Lord," but anyways, so then they're all talking, and Ridge just tells Taylor, I mean, excuse me, Steffi, "You want to be my secretary?" And she was like, "What?" He said, "Brooke told me what you did." And they was like, "Ah." Steffi was just like, "Oh, she told you?" He was like, "Yes, of course she told me." And he said, "Don't do that again. If you're not gonna give me the message or something, don't do it again." And he was like, "Why that? What was I doing? What else? Where was I?" And she was like, You and Finn were talking, playing a game or whatever when she did it." I mean, Ridge would he didn't care. He didn't care. He told her not to do it again, but he was like, "That's my wife," or whatever. Just like um Taylor had told Steffi that's his wife, and she can call him. But anyways, so y'all, they're talking and everything, and Steffi starts up again about, "You should be home, you should be with us, you should be with your family." And he says, he tries to say, "I'm married." And then Ridge gets really emotional. He starts talking about how he sees Taylor, because she says, "Look how you're looking at mom." That's a Steffi. And he was like, so Ridge gets emotional because he's like, I'm looking at your mom, I'm looking at you guys. I see you guys together. I see Finn. And Finn, you'll always be there for your kids. And you're not gonna leave. You're gonna be there. You're gonna always come home." And Finn was like, "Yeah, I always will. Thank you for saying that. I always will." And then Ridge started acting like he regretted his past decisions. He said, "Yeah, you're not gonna let um someone or something distract or come in the way." And I said, "No, wait a minute, Ridge. Like, you're not gonna sit here and act." Oh, okay. So he said, "You're not gonna let anything come in the way. You're gonna be a family man or whatever." And he gets all emotional because I guess he's trying to say he regrets the time where he left his family and got with Brooke and everything. And he just has regrets about that. And Steffi gives him a hug, and she said, "You did the best you could, Dad." And he was like, "Yeah, but it wasn't good enough, and I left you guys, and it wasn't good enough, and it wasn't fair, it wasn't right." But Steffi is like, she was like, "But you're making it right now or whatever, you're coming home." And then Steffi and Finn have to go to work. And so Taylor and Ridge talk, and he just says, he could have been better in their, and he could have been better at their marriage. And she says, "We all could have made different choices or whatever." And really, it's just up to Ridge now on what you want to do. Like, because it sounds like he's trying to say, like, "I let my distraction with Brooke break up my home or whatever." And Taylor is just like, what Steffi said, "You're making up for that now. You're here now and everything." And I said, I don't like that he did that, like almost acting like, because you had free will, sir. Like, like you had a choice. You didn't have to go to Brooke. Like, even now, what Brooke said is true. She's not holding a gun to your head. If you don't want to be with her, go home and be with the, or as y'all call yourselves, the forces. But we're not going to even get into that part of it. But be with your Forrester family, as you like to say. Like nobody's making you be with Brooke. Uh, I don't know why you feel, I feel like you have to do it out of obligation, because you definitely have been all in Taylor's face and everything. You want to be over there clearly, and I think it would be kinder to tell Brooke, I want to try to make this work with my family again. I mean, at the end of the day, if y'all want to look at it like y'all are going, I'm like, what are y'all trying? Like, because they keep talking about y'all can't make up the past again. You can't relive the past. These are not small children. You're not the same age you were then. Like, but it feels like they want to try to make up for the lost time and have this family. Y'all are all grown adults with, living in your own places and everything. You're not going to be coming around having family dinners every night. You know what I'm Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Like, these are not children, and you two are an adults. I don't know. I don't know. It's just this. Okay, let's move on. Because he just feels like he wants to um it looks as though he's wanting to come home. I'm doing quotes. Air quotes. All right, so then child, we see Brooke goes over to the Forrester home, and Thomas has a knife. He's cutting the apple. And when he's cutting this apple and everything, Brooke is just saying danger, danger. I said, Brooke, please hold this together. She's saying danger, danger. And so she comes in and she says, hey, and Douglas is like, hey, grandma. And so he runs up to her and everything. And she was like, hey, what are y'all doing? And he says, I'm cutting an apple. And she's looking at Thomas like, you need to put that knife down. It's dangerous. And he says, I've always cut my apples this way and or everything. But anyways, they were talking about going bowling earlier. So Douglas is like, Grandma, you want to go bowling with us this weekend? And Thomas is like, oh, Brooke is always packed. If I was Brooke, I would have been like, no, no, no. I can come. I can come. I would did it out of spite because I'm petty. But anyway, so Douglas goes out to play, and that leaves Thomas and Brooke to talk. And I already knew this stuff was about to be a mess. So Thomas and Brooke talk, and she's still going on about the knife, like looking at him like, I'm in danger, Molly. And so he's like, oh, I'll put it down and I'll use like an apple peel or a potato peel or something else to cut the apples or whatever. But anyways, like he was like, what are you doing here? And she said, I wanted to see my grandson or whatever. And she was like, when is he coming home? And he was like, he is home. And she said, no, I mean to his other home. You've had him over here too long. And you know what Thomas said that I didn't like? He was just like, he was acting like Brooke had no right to want to see Douglas or want to spend time with Douglas. But at the end of the day, since Hope adopted Douglas and he calls her grandmother, she does have, if she has as much of a right to see him as Taylor does or as Ridge does, because you allowed Hope to adopt him. And so but okay, y'all. So then Brooke, I said, y'all both are annoying me today. Both you are annoying me today, because Thomas is just like, he starts telling Brooke, because she says, Hope told me that you knew about what Steffi did. And he was like, yeah, I did. And like, he won't admit that what Steffi did was wrong. He said, maybe it was wrong, but my father, he needs to be with a woman that hasn't been like, look what you did to my grandfather, my father, my uncle. I hate y'all know I hate when they do that. Cause I mean, we could get on like what your mom did to your dad or what your sister did to the men she was with. We could get on that, but we're not. And so he's talking about that or whatever, and she's just like, he tried to like say, you're the reason that I am the way I am, that why I grew up with issues that I've grown up with, because you were my stepmom. I said, sir, you cannot blame that on Brooke. And he said, she was like, you're trying to blame your issues on me? And he was like, yeah, you destroyed my family and everything. And when they were talking, Ridge and Taylor, they did say that Thomas was the sensitive one, and he took the family breaking up really hard. Phoebe just wanted love, and Steffi became like a firecracker, or a little hard shelled, and everything. But Thomas was the sensitive one, and he took it really hard. And I said, sir, why don't you blame your mom? Like, I don't understand why they don't blame Taylor for anything. Like, they don't blame Taylor for anything. They don't blame Ridge for anything. They always act like, oh, it's Brooke. If she hadn't, your dad made a choice. But anyways, and so she said, so it's my fault that you lied about a baby being dead. And it's my fault that you kidnapped. And, she went to telling him, like, you've done some bad things. And she's not 100% sure that he is cured of everything. So they going back and forth at each other, hitting below the belt with each other and everything. And finally, Thomas just tells her, the hold that you had on my father, it's ending, Brooke. And he picks back. I said, well, why you pick this knife back up? He picks this knife back up, and they're showing Brooke's eyes where she's like looking at him, but her eyes are darting to the knife and she's worried. And then he starts talking to her. And you know how some people talk with their hands? Well, he's talking with the knife. I say, you should put that down, because y'all, I'm sorry. I know people didn't want to hear this, don't want to hear this, because y'all didn't like it last time I said it. But you could clearly see where they're trying to give indications that they're going to make Thomas unstable again. I don't like, if they're not going to, I would be shocked, because everything that they have going right now, even with him holding the knife, him thinking about Hope and saying, no, she's married, Steffi pressuring him to, we got to get our families together, putting all that pressure on him. And then him trying to say, like, I'm trying to change or whatever. But oh girl, I think your name is Ray of Sunshine. I'm sorry, I can't remember what she was saying. They want to say he's changed, but he still lied about Brooke, and he knew what Sheila had done. Then he sat back and knew what Steffi had done. So when it comes to his parents and everything, he makes excuses on why it's okay for him to not do the right thing. Like, the right thing would have been to tell, hey, Sheila, got Brooke drunk. The right thing would have been to tell Steffi, no, don't do that. Don't answer the phone. Or, hey, Dad, you just got a phone call from Brooke. That would have been the right thing to do, or whatever. So honestly, that's exactly what Brooke is talking about. But anyways, like I was saying, you could kind of see that they're pointing him in the direction where one more mishap, I feel like, and he would become unstable again, because of the way they're doing it, and everything. I hope I'm wrong, because I do like Thomas. He get on my nerves sometimes, but overall, I do like him, and I think he has tried to be a better person. But like I said before, he just makes bad choices sometimes. And I've held you long enough, y'all. That was the Bold and the Beautiful today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next Monday for all new episodes of the Bold and the Beautiful. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.